Well, one of the guys in the freight industry, Craig Fuller, like him or don't like him, keeps a ton of data. He pays for a lot of data and has a program called Sonars. One of the things that he's showing is oddly, I know it's weird, but we're going to talk about it real quick, and then we're going to talk about tariffs. Because and then if nobody calls in, I'll just do it without them. But I thought somebody from MAGA would have called in. Consumers working in service or finance sector are not feeling the pain on the impact of the industry sector. I'm industrial sector. That's what I do. It's literally a tale of two markets. Local delivery, which is mostly big box retail and e-commerce, volumes are up 4%. So what's happening is if you're a box truck, if you're a cargo van, or if you're a tractor trailer that does local, you're seeing an uptick. Okay? You're seeing an uptick because a lot of retailers shifted their stuff to warehousing, and now they're moving their stuff from the warehousing to the retail stores. Okay? So when the tariffs are coming in, they front-loaded warehouse. Any place you could find warehousing, it was sold out. It was sold out. Fill it because of tariffs. Okay. So now you're starting to see that shift from the big box warehouses to the big box retail stores. Right? Makes sense. You got Christmas coming, bunch of stuff in the warehouse, lots of box trucks, lots of tractor trailers doing local. Long haul trucking, which is mostly exposed to the industrial, is down a whopping 29%. What does that mean? Long haul trucking would be mostly done because warehousing ships. Okay, let me make sure I get this straight so you guys can understand this, because I want to make sure that everybody gets it. Local stuff in big box comes in by rail and then gets offloaded to ports, to hubs, right? Because that's where they save money. And then they do local trips to take it from the warehousing to the resale stores. Okay, that's how logistics kind of works. Comes in from a port or comes in from China, off the rail, keeps going all the way until it gets to a hub. And then we break it down, we unpack that container. You know, the containers, we back it up to a dock, they unpack it, they put it on a box truck, they put it on a trailer, they put it on something else. And then what happens is it gets shipped to the store and then you buy it. Okay? That how big box and that is how retail stores ship most of their stuff. Well, when you're working industrial side project, manufacturing, or you're shipping to job sites, there's not a lot of rail spurs in regards to that, right? Because they don't need a lot of rail spurs compared to big box stuff that is moving so much stuff, right? So a lot of long haul truckers are moving more of manufacturing or industrial type stuff, okay? Flatbed drivers, things like that are going to job sites, that are picking up lumber, picking up steel, shipping raw material, going to here. That's a lot of over-the-road drivers, long-haul truckers. Well, we've seen that crash 29%. That has crashed 29%. So that one of the things that you get from that is that manufacturing is down. Now, you don't have to just take that, right? Manufacturing is down. And what happens is we can also see that in regards to manufacturing layoffs, manufacturing jobs. Like there's other ways for us to see that manufacturing is down. You can put all these pieces together to see that it's down, not up. Even though Donald Trump says that it's up. Says that we're booming, we're the hottest country ever, $17 trillion being thrown into manufacturing here and all these people. But it's down. Okay. The manufacturing renaissance is actually a manufacturing collapse. And there's the chart by the person in the industry that keeps these charts, that shows this information. He's basically showing that. Like this is what logistical people do. We look at shit like this and we know what's going on, and this is our jobs. It's weird, I know, and I wouldn't wish this on my, worst enemy, but unfortunately it is. So local is up 41% and long haul is down 18% in 2019. Okay? So that is basically what's going on in regards to manufacturing. Now, quick little thing, because people, I had conversations in regards to, do you guys remember the guy that came on and he was talking about the, you might not remember if you weren't here. He was talking about interest rates. The reason why manufacturing's not coming back is because interest rates are so high. And I said, no. The problem is that you have tariffs and you have a president that is bringing chaos to the market. He's literally bringing chaos to the market, and businesses like consistency. Consistencies will build business. Consistency will build a business. Okay? That's just business 101. Okay? So when he said that, no, it's interest rates. Well, here's a chart here that I'm a little confused about, because this right here is construction spending on manufacturing facilities. Now, this blue right here, as you can see, the administration Obama. So blue is Obama, okay? And then you see this little line bringing in manufacturing facilities. And then you can see Trump. This was his first term right here, okay? You can see Trump's first term, and you can see it didn't really spike. Manufacturing construction spending didn't spike for Trump in his first term. What? But wait, that's weird. And then under Biden, which had the highest interest rates we've had in a long time, it spiked. Why? What happened here that made it spike? Look at this as the manufacturing construction. It spiked. Why? It's not the interest rates. I can show you right now it's not the interest rates. You are looking at Biden's high inflation, high interest rates. Why? It's because the laws that were passed, not the tariffs, but the laws, the CHIPS Act, the Infrastructure Act, what the hell is the other one? The Inflation Reduction Act. These laws that were passed brought consistency to the market and incentives and investment in construction. They didn't threaten you to build. They incentivized businesses to build. They incentivized. When you threaten a business, they don't build. If I'm a business and you start threatening me, yeah, I'm not gonna bring my business someplace that the government is threatening me. But if you incentivize me, money will go to where money is treated the best. That's where money goes. Think about it. You will pay more money if you're treated better. That's where it goes. Okay. Total manufacturing jobs. Obviously, you see it started to spike. Does anybody know what happened right here in the middle? Like, this is Obama in this blue, and then the yellow is Trump, and then blue is Biden. Does anybody know what happened right here, right in the middle of Donald Trump's presidency? Take your time. I probably won't wait for everybody to answer. What happened right here that it started to drop off? Well, two things happened. But three things. So the first thing that happened right here in 2018, June to be exact, was tariffs. Donald Trump felt it's time to impose tariffs. Now, he didn't go all in. He didn't go mad crazy for it. But this right here was tariffs. And then we had a freight recession in early 2019. And this right here was the downward angle in regards of manufacturing jobs were growing great. And then Donald Trump fixed what wasn't broken. I know that's weird. Thank you so much for that subscription. I know it's weird to fix things that aren't broken, but yet we're looking at the screen and we're looking at this type of thing. Now, right here, this pivot right here was Donald Trump crashed the oil market. You guys can look that up. Donald Trump crash oil market. Largest crash there down to zero. I remember that day because I'm in logistics for oil field companies for one of the things they do. Now, of course, this is COVID. I get this. I don't blame anybody for this. Okay, this is COVID. Things are closed down. You can't come in. You can't manufacture. Everything's kind of stopping. I get it. I get that, right? Not can't blame them for that. And then things start to come up, right? And then you have a hiccup here, basically. And then all of a sudden, boom, things start to spike under Biden. Why? Well, one, we're opening back up. Makes sense. But two, they're passing legislation to benefit, to incentivize, to spark manufacturing. They're using the tariffs that were put in place for the CHIPS Act, the chips and the semiconductors. Those were tariffs that Trump did. They're now saying, well, we can't just threaten people, we have to now incentivize others. So you're threatening China, but you're incentivizing Taiwan, you're incentivizing Korea, you're incentivizing Germany, you're incentivizing these other companies to come to the United States by passing laws. Why is a law important? It's consistent. A tariff, as we can just see this weekend, collapses the market, brings it back up, collapses, spikes and bangs. It's inconsistent. That's why tariffs that can be turned on and turned off again don't work. Okay. Oh, this was just basically, I don't need this because you guys don't, did I turn this? Okay. Basically, let me turn this off because that's probably dark. This basically you're looking at is, you're looking at interest rates. Last year, you're looking at interest rates, right? But you guys kind of know, there's no one's going to argue with me that interest rates weren't as higher under Biden. No one's going to argue with that, right? Pretty much. Okay. So manufacturing was coming into the United States as we had high interest rates. Weird, right? It's almost like I told you so should be said, but I won't say it. I told you so. All right. That being said, another one, Fortune. Okay. Biden Harris have a track record of real success in bringing manufacturing back to the United States, where Trump all sticks, no carrots approach has already failed. Okay. When was this written? October 2024. Okay. Let's see here. Now they're talking about the other one. All right. So where's the all sticks? And after this, we're going to play the game because I don't have anybody calling in.
His number, 856-600-4654, Sage Outcast.
If you're just joining us.
I have questions.
Let me turn on the ducking. If you're just joining us, basically my challenge is if you are a pro-tariff, pro-Trump person and you think tariffs are going to work and you think tariffs, are going to bring back manufacturing like the yo-yo that called in a couple days ago that writes business plans in regards to for businesses, me and you are going to talk, and I'm going to slow things down. I'm going to show you. I'm going to use this paint program, and I'm going to show you. Oh, hang on. Where's my? Oh, that's the eraser. I'm going to basically show you with sticks and stick people and boxes in regards to how that you're wrong, because I can't figure it out any other way. I can't explain tariffs any other way that now I'm going to resort to stick figures and horrible. I draw horribly. And it's probably even worse on a computer. So, sorry, you'll have to suffer with me. That being said, we probably won't see anybody call in. Okay. Let's start with Trump's approach to bringing manufacturing companies, factories, and jobs back to the U.S. Now, just so you guys know, sometimes I can read silently pretty good, but sometimes when I read out loud, it complicates things. So, I might have to correct myself. That's why I have a pronunciation producer who barely shows up for work. Okay. Which is highly personal. Okay, we're just going to get past this. Okay. Trump's positioned himself as a master negotiator and welded his weapon of choice, tariffs. To him, tariffs are the most beautiful word in the dictionary. Tariffs are the most beautiful word in the dictionary. He argues that... Oh, hang on. What was that? Stand by. I know what it was, but I got to find it. Okay, we'll work on that. He argues that the higher the tariff, the more likely the company will come back to the U.S. and build a facility. Let me make sure that's not open there. And build a facility in the U.S. so it doesn't have to pay tariffs. You make it so high, so horrible, so obnoxious that they'll come right away. Makes sense, right? Like if you threaten companies, they'll definitely come running. That's usually what works best for companies all the time. I mean, I've tried to threaten companies into taking my price with threats, and for some odd reason, it doesn't work. I don't know why, but I've tried, and like I said, for some odd reason, it never works. Weird, right? Let me check this real quick. Hang on. Hold that thought. Okay. Trump's defenders argue that he intends to use the tariffs as leverage to drive negotiations with companies and trading partners. Kind of weird, okay? The argument is not without reason. It is based on his record, as tariffs were and remain one of the few tools that he uses to lure companies, factories, and jobs back to the U.S. During his pregnancy, during his presidency, well, he might have been pregnant. He looks kind of pregnant now. He championed and secured passage of little legislation aimed to increase manufacturing investment and reshoring products and jobs. He didn't do shit to pass laws, to get laws passed. I'll rephrase that. He didn't get shit to get laws passed. Okay. For example, despite introducing an annual infrastructure week, he failed to pass an infrastructure bill. The closest he came to legislation solutions was the passage of his signature Tax Cut and Jobs Act, which reduced the corporate tax from 35% to 21%. However, there is a highly tenuous relationship between cutting the corporate tax rate and in attracting companies to manufacture in the United States. Why? Why is cutting business tax not really bring manufacturing to the United States? Well, I can foretell you why. And I will foretell you why. Because when I buy things that is job related, that's a tax write-off. I don't need a tax break. Sound weird, right? Like if I were to, like right now I'm doing a show, and part of my show is I play a video game. And this controller, we're going to talk about this controller here. I use this controller to play the video game while I'm technically monetized on YouTube. Now I only make about, I don't know, $100 a month because most of you, you enjoy slave labor, and you've got me here as slave labor right now. See what I'm saying? Right now, this is like public schools, and rather than private schools. Either way, we'll let that go. But now memberships are 99 cents, and they go up from there. Super chats put a smile on my face that lasts forever. So if that's something you want to see, go ahead. Most of you don't. Okay. So let's say I buy this controller for $100. This controller is a tax write-off. I don't need a tax break on it because it's a tax write-off used while I'm doing something for my business, which is talking to you. I don't know, weird, right? But same thing. If you buy a company truck that you need for company, that's a tax write-off. That's why that usually tax cuts don't bring a lot of businesses because they already get tax write-offs. Okay. However, economic evidence to suggest otherwise, making it far less effective a carrot than companies than Trump boosters travel. Like I said, there's no need. Like it doesn't. I don't care. At that point, if I'm investing in your country, that's all of that's is a tax write-off, right? Weird. Okay. Matter of fact, once I invest in your country, I still have to pay employment tax. Okay. Now, I don't have to pay employment tax in China, but if I manufacture here, I have to pay employment tax. I know, it's weird, right? Perfect. Instead of time after time, Trump has used a threat of tariffs. Remember, this was 2024, so this is not on the tariffs that he's doing now. But let's see if we can, history type of rhyme type situation. Okay. Trump has used the threat of tariffs targeting individual companies that when he believes some factories and jobs could be moved back to the United States, recently threatening John Deere with tariffs of 200% of made in Mexico equipment, which Trump argues was previously made in the United States. He is also pitting companies against each other. Ford, GM, they put against each other. Lockheed Martin and Boeing, they're going against each other. As we've written about previous, we're not going to go into that, but that's a different thing. Yet Trump's wild thrashing threats have rarely succeeded in bringing factories back to the United States because it's laughably easy for companies to sidestep, deflect, or evade his bluffs. It's easy. Yep. We're going to bring everything back. It's going to take us some time because we got to find the perfect location, but we'll definitely invest in the United States $5 billion. Well, where? We don't know yet, and we're going to open up negotiations, and we're going to start to do this stuff. Don't you worry, though. We'll do it. Checks in the mail. Sound familiar? Even when companies seemingly exceed his wishes, many simply stall and reverse course the moment Trump left office. What? You mean like, do you guys remember Carrier? Carrier is regards to the ones that make the air conditioning type units, like, that for That company was supposed to be coming back to the United States. He saved Carrier. Carrier moved to Mexico. Once they got past that moment, Carrier kind of moved to Mexico. He didn't save them. For example, highly touted $10 billion factory, Foxconn, promised to build in Wisconsin. Do you remember that? I do. The product of personal negotiations spearheaded by Trump never fully materialized. After Foxconn hemmed and hawed for years, in some cases, Trump even took to touting imaginary, non-existent victories. Wait a minute. So he lied, and he created victories, non-existent victories. He made shit up in regards to trade deals, in regards to businesses, in regards to manufacturing. He made shit up during his first administration. Weird. He wouldn't do it again, would he? You guys can think that through if you want. Take your time. Victories such as claiming Deere agreed to drop its plans to move manufacturing from the United States to Mexico, only for Deere to openly contradict Trump and insist that they are continuing with their production plans there. Trump said, I stopped them. I stopped John Deere from building in Mexico. John Deere came out and said, no, you didn't. We're still building in Mexico. We're still building in Mexico. What? He lied about trade deals? He lied about stopping manufacturing? No. Harley Davidson. More often, Trump only succeeded in temporarily tanking a stock market price of a company he targeted without actually shifting any factories or jobs back to the United States. Such as when stock of Harley Davidson dropped nearly 10% for over 2 days in June of 2018. After Trump tweeted, well, they tweeted it? Yeah, because it would have been tweeting. Tweeted threats of increasing taxes on the company for supposed outsourcing, which was later shown to be untrue. What? So basically, he tanks the stocks because he says Harley Davidson is outsourcing to another country, just to find out he was wrong. He was wrong. It was untrue. The president of the United States literally comes out and tanks a business's stock to find out it's untrue. Now, listen to me. Are you listening? Would you, let's say you're rich, you got billions of dollars. Would you possibly, is this something that you would want to build a business in the United States? Whether if you don't do what you're supposed to do, or you do something that the president thinks you're doing without any evidence, can basically come out and tank your stock? Is that a friendly work investment? Take your time. Take your time. Okay. Furthermore, no, we're not there yet. The data indicates that the Trump isocratic efforts to target individual companies for presidential bullying was ineffectual. Woo! I got it. Ineffectual. Using his own preferred metrics to measure progress, trade deficits, and unemployment, it is clear that the needle that was little moved despite all of Trump's noise. Not only did the U.S. trade deficit soar, the trade deficit got more. It grew under Trump with his tariffs, like it is now. Weird. It's almost weird. Like, we are literally seeing historical data from Trump's first administration doing the exact same thing now that he did then, and people are like, "No, you got to wait it out. This is all new, and you don't understand." Okay. All right. The U.S., his own trade deal, the USMCA, the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, contributed to quadrupling the U.S. trade deficit with North American partners. These countries are taking advantage of us. I'm going to do a trade deal so that doesn't happen anymore. Sir, they have now quadrupled the trade deficit. They've taken advantage of us times four. They've taken advantage of us now because of your trade deal. Shit. Let's start over. I'll just tariff everybody. Okay. Now, what am I got going on here? Did you guys? We're gonna probably cover this tomorrow. Did you guys see that even your own? I know, sidetrack.
When they have power.
You guys see that even Marjorie Taylor Greene is now coming out against the Trump administration? That's weird. I bet you she's going to run for president, but she knows she needs both sides. So she's going out against the Epstein files. She's going to go out against healthcare. She's going to go out against tariffs and trade. Matter of fact, hang on. I saved her thing too. Hang on. And then we'll get right back on to... Jesus Christ. All right. Hold that thought. Trump's not getting into heaven, according to his words. We'll get to that. Also, somebody came out, and I did see this, but I don't know if this is true, that Trump is going after 2A by trying to get the memberships lists of gun rights groups. I don't know about that yet, so don't hold me to that, but I'll look into that for you. Okie dokie. Let's play this.
At this point, inflation is stabilizing, sort of, but prices have not come down at all.
The job market is weakening.
Job market is still extremely difficult.
Right.
Wages have not gone up. Health insurance premiums are going to go up. Car insurance goes up every year. People's homeowners insurance goes up. Rent is going up. Young people have no hope of buying a home. And then when they try to buy a home, they end up, like I said, competing with like Blackstone or somebody else.
The average home buyer now is 38 years old. It just came out.
Right.
The average home buyer, 38.
At this point.
Wow. Now, that's not what Trump's been saying. That's weird. That she's saying something opposite. Trump says everything's down. Now, I know everything's not down. You know everything's not down because you pay for things. Trump doesn't pay for this stuff, right? Now, you know prices have gone up. I know prices have gone up. But Trump, who doesn't pay for anything, he doesn't seem to know that. We'll get back to that. Okie dokie. Now, okay, Sonia?
His number, 856-600-4654, Sage Outcast. I have questions.
Okay. Now, what my goal was with this at this point of the show was, and I will be cutting this part of the show out. I'm an hour in. But what it was to have somebody who was MAGA, who was basically pro-tariff, who was basically not a keyboard warrior, come into the show, and basically we were gonna start talking tariffs step by step, because I don't know what it takes for people to understand that tariffs are not good. The way Trump's doing the tariffs, right? Obviously, Trump is doing tariffs that are basically. Oh, hang on, did this come here? No, this went to the other one. Trump is doing blanket tariffs now. Do I believe that targeted tariffs with a backing of incentivizing and a backing of incentivizing and a backing of I was getting text messages. I didn't know if they were about the show. Yeah, let me turn this off. I don't know why. Okay. Followed by law, followed by the passing of statutes, a passing of a law to help incentivize businesses coming here are useful? Of course they are. 100%. 100% that's a good thing, right? Because what happens is you have tariffs that says, hey, we're going to tariff this country for doing this. Not all countries, not everybody, not all their products, but we're going to tariff semiconductors. We're going to tariff solar panels. We're going to tariff EVs. We're going to tariff solar panels, semiconductors, EVs, and something else. Batteries. That type of stuff. We're going to tariff that type of stuff. And then what we're going to do on this side, while we're doing this, on this side, we're going to incentivize businesses from coming to the United States. And we're basically going to say, hey, we're going to go ahead and pass a law and give and incentivize these foreign businesses to come here and build their manufacturing here so that we can bring jobs and bring high quality, jobs to the United States. Like not basket weaving jobs, but actually semiconductor manufacturing, EV car manufacturing, battery manufacturing, those type of jobs, solar panel manufacturing, technology jobs, AI, things that are going to benefit us and take us into the future. Not into the past, but into the future. Now, I get this all the time, and since nobody from the MAGA crew is willing to step up the plate and soldier up, all they want to be is keyboard warriors, not a problem. I can do this by myself. Here's what we're going to do. Now, I have on a website that I guess it's JS Paint because I run a Mac, so I don't have the Windows version of Paint or whatever you guys do. Here's what we're going to do. Now, I am going to draw some boxes on the screen, and we're going to try to make this as simple as possible. Okay, these are boxes in China. China. Okay. No, they're not actually boxes, but we're gonna make this as this is rough. China manufacturing. Oh, I didn't put the C here. Okie dokie. Close enough. Okay. And then we're gonna make this. I'm gonna try to simplify this. There's a lot more pieces to the puzzle, but we're just gonna do this. Then we're gonna put a box right here. I'm gonna explain some tariffs to you. I'm gonna explain some. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. And we're gonna make this right here the ocean. Whoa! I know. Hopefully none of you. Hopefully people don't come in late because they're gonna think I'm having a stroke or something. Okay. So we have a business over here. Now, first we're going to do this. We're going to make this the port. All right, let's start to explain. We're going to start to explain. One of the conversations I get, and I might have to do this with all of the 4 or 5 stages of tariff denial. I've now learned that there is 4 or 5 stages of tariff denial, and every time I debate somebody in regards to tariffs, they always fall down the path. First, it's about bringing manufacturing back. Then it's about slave labor. Then it's about trade negotiations. Then it's about don't you want to? then it's about we have to separate it for national security or it goes down. Those are usually the 4. Okay. Oddly enough, sometimes there's a weird one. I know. We're going to. Oh, my controller got disconnected. I know that. I got it. But we're going to stand by in the game. Okay. So let's say over here in America, right here is somebody like me. And I'm going to put America. Okay, I voted for America. America, small business. The cornerstone of America. Small business. It is literally the cornerstone, and it's a needed thing because this is what I'm told, and I do agree with that, but this is what I'm told. We want to make sure we don't destroy small businesses. And but tariffs are the most beautiful word in the dictionary. The problem is Trump doesn't own a dictionary and probably doesn't understand a lot of other words. So, let us go. Let's say I sell these controllers. Now, I've done this before, but I didn't have all the visual aspects of things, which you guys are looking at. I sell these controllers. Okay? I sell these controllers. Now, this is Sling Blade. You don't count. Oh, what was that? Oh. Sling Blade, you don't count. You're not a MAGA, Trumpian MAGA tariff guy.
I know. I just wanted to let you know your banner with the phone number is not up, and there's people asking for the number.
Oh, that's a good point. Thank you, Sling Blade, for, as the second producer, as the phone version producer of the show. Thank you so much. All right, you should get on Discord because my producer didn't even tell me the banner wasn't up. Okay, great point. Thank you, producer backstage. Did you hear me? I had to outsource your producing jobs to Sling Blade. That tells you something about your. If Sling Blade is now the dominant producer of this show is definitely going down. Just saying. Okay, now phone number's on screen. Yeah, fix that problem. Ha! Well, this is the section I wanted you to call in anyways, so this works. That works. Okay. What was I saying now? Perfect. We're gonna manufacture these controllers. Manufacturing these controllers right here. Okay, now I want to sell these controllers. So let's say I'm going to use simple numbers. I know these controllers go for cheaper, but let's just say, okay. But let's say I take this controller and I improved on this controller and I was able to create, I'm like, you know what would make this controller better? If I added toggles down here or made it feel, if I created a controller that worked better with smaller hands, right? Because controllers might come in one size, whatever, right? And I say, that's a great idea. I just did the research and development on this. I'm the American that did the research and development that came up with an idea to create a better controller. Okay? Better controller. Now, I say, I want to start selling that controller. Now, my idea, I turn into a CAD program, a little program that they create. They do drawings like this. Like, this is my version of a CAD program. Trust me, this does not look like a CAD program, but they do little CAD things. I could show you CAD programs of fiberglass tanks, but you guys get the gist. And I start sending that out to manufacturing companies, let's say in China. We're going to go with in China, right? Or Vietnam or India. You can pick the country, okay? Whatever, because Trump's tariffing anybody. Well, I reach out. We're going to leave this one blank for now. I reach out. Maybe we have to change the color. Do I have to change the color? Does anybody know how to change the color on this thing? Yeah. I reach out with green. We're going to make green a phone call. Let's see if that worked. Does that work? Yes, close enough. I reach out and I call China on the phone. Hello, China. Hello, how can I help you? I'm going to get banned for that one. How can I help you, sir? China, I am looking to manufacture this CAD drawing for this controller, and I'm looking to see how much it would cost for you to manufacture this. I can help you with that, sir. Don't you worry. We will have this all under control. All right. That's my best Chinese accent, just so you know. You can tell I'm not from China. Okay. Now, China, this company right here is kind of like the whole... They're not the manufacturing of this because this has multiple parts. So we're going to pick 3 parts. We're going to say that it has the internals, it has the case, and then it has the buttons. Okay? I know it has more, but go with me, would ya? Would ya? Okay. So they reach out and they say, let's take a look. We've got the CAD program. They're going to reach out. We're going to pick another color here. Let's go with red for evil China. They're going to reach out to these companies and this company and this company. Now, this company here manufactures the case. This company 2 manufactures the buttons. Manufacturing 3 manufactures the internals. The internals. Great, I'm already forgetting. And they get a price from all this. And then they basically say, yep, the price is going to be $10. All right, $10. Now, this company here says, well, we got to make a little bit of money on it. So we're going to sell it for $12 total. So after they get all this pricing back, it's 10. And then this company right here, the one that's going to put it all together, which is this company, they're going to sell it back to America. Ooh, we'll call it 13 because that was a horrible 2. That was a horrible 2. They're going to sell it back to this company for $13. You with me? Are you with me? So far, so good. Now, here's what people forget. If I were to come here and look for the American business, I don't just have to look now what this China company right here, they're going to put it all together. They're going to assemble it for me and ship it to me as a controller that is completely functioning and good. Okay? That's what this business is going to do right here. Assemble. They're going to be the ass company. Take that any way you want. You can fill in the blank. They're going to be the assembly company or the ass company. Ha ha! We're doing it. Now, here's what happens from there. Okay? They sell it over here, and the American guy says, well, I'll sell it for $50. Over here, how much would somebody be willing to pay for that controller? Well, they'd probably be willing to pay, let's say $100. I know, but it's easy numbers for me. So they'd be willing to pay over here. He could sell that for $100. we're almost going off the screen there. To the American people, which are off the screen. All you people are off the screen because, you get the point. All the people, he's going to sell it off the screen to you people. You're all going to buy this controller for $100 because it's the best damn controller ever designed. Close enough. Okay. Now, for this same, now, all of a sudden, so that he's selling it, he's making money. Now, then that's probably about the pricing. They would probably sell it for about 10, and then over here, because of supply and demand, because of the brand, there's a value to this controller. You could probably sell it for $100. It's based not just on how much it costs. It's also based on the demand for the controller and how well I can market and brand it. Okay, and it's gone across the ocean. Okay, so they say we'll take it. We will take it. Okay, then the boat. Let's go with. We're gonna go with this color. Then they build it, they manufacture it, and they ship it to the port, to over here to the United States. This is going to be the port. P-O-R-T. And then it's either going to go by truck or by rail. And then by truck. Let's just say by rail to this facility, and then by truck back here. Real simple. We'll get to that part in a minute. Okay. Now, what happens when tariffs kick in? Well, the first thing people say is, well, it's about bringing back manufacturing. It's about bringing back manufacturing. Okay, so if I'm the guy that created this controller in my mind, and then I drew up the CAD drawings, or I had those drawn up, the CAD drawings for somebody else to make this controller for me, because I don't make these controllers. I'm not out there in my garage soldering these controllers together. I came up with a better controller, whatever. You know the word. What's the word when it comes to your wrists and all that other shit? In the chat, put it in the chat for me. You guys know what I'm talking about. When it feels better in your hand and stuff, whatever. Put that in the chat. Okay. Now, I go ahead and I designed it, but I'm not manufacturing it. It takes 3 different companies, approximately, to manufacture this and 1 company to assemble it. Because the company that's making the circuit boards or making the case or making the buttons doesn't assemble it. It's not done all in one factory. Somebody has to make the board, somebody has to make the case, somebody has to make the buttons. So right here, China has built this right here. We're going to go with this color. This right here, this yellow, is what made China really, really good at what they did. It's called a supply chain. And the supply chain is all of this. All of the working parts to get this to here is your supply chain. Now, logistics falls under supply chain because logistics moves things from one supply chain to another supply chain, blah, blah, blah. But this is the supply chain. And they're very good at this. They basically created assembly factories that reach out to all these other component factories to build a great supply chain. It's not always about the cost. It might be more expensive to build this in China than in India, which normally it is, but China has a better supply chain if I want it right now. I can't wait 5 years for you to build your supply chain. I need it now. I need it now. Okay? So the supply chain is what all of these buildings are together. And welcome to Logistics 101/Economics 101/everything. You guys are learning more than probably most of the freight brokers out there. Okay, and 99% of truckers. So, you now have this being built, and they can do it for this price. So now then tariffs come in, and he says, we're going to put 100% tariff on this, because he just said that over the weekend. So now, for me to sell this for $13, I can still sell it for $13. They're still going to get their $13 per unit, right? Oh, how much does it cost to ship it across the ocean? Probably like $2,500. So for a container, so we're going to go with a 20-foot container. So right now you're going to do a, let's say 25, approximately. And sometimes it's 15, but you can easily get it. 25 I'm going to go with. This isn't COVID shit shot up to like $30,000. But 25 is a good price to kind of fluctuate getting it shipped from China to the United States. I think it's down to 15. I didn't look up I didn't look up the Freightos thing. So right now, that's approximately right. Okay. So now I have to pay, instead of paying, so once this lands in the port, again, if you're not using a bonded warehouse, just throw that out. Bonded warehouse is upper level logistics. But let's non-bonded warehouse. Once this lands here, this product here is sailed across the ocean, bloop, 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 and it's not struck by the Houthis, and it's not, that's not carrying drugs and shot down by our own government. Let's say it lands here. Bam, bam, bam. It's now sitting in the port. Now, for this American company to get it out of the port, this American company has to pay the Treasury Department, the tariff. TAR. Close enough if you're following from the back. Can you see me in the back? You see this in the back? Perfect. Okay. Now, for you, it doesn't just go to you anymore. Now, well, it had tariffs on it before, but now it definitely goes to this, and then it can go to you by rail, by truck. Doesn't matter, right? But the tariff of 100%, 100% on the cost of what's in the can. So if you bought enough of these that inside the can it was $100,000, you now have to pay $200,000 to get this out of the port. You're paying that. They're not paying that. Oh, hang on. Sage, Tariff 101 class, how may I help you?
Hi. Hey, Sage, I don't know if you saw this, a story over the weekend by UPS. Small business owners, their packages are getting blocked at customs. They can't clear all of these small business packages that are UPS. They're either being discarded, or what's on the ground, what's on the ground, what's on the floor, what's on the floor. And people are wanting all of this small business, basically packages they need for Christmas, and they've been in there since the beginning of September.
Does it say
I don't know if you knew of that or not.
Is that because of the Damascus agreement or the Damascus thing? I can't remember the name. Or that they have to pay it under $800.
Fentanyl. Anything under $800, $900 has to go be cleared by UPS Customs.
Perfect. Plus, they also have to pay. They also have to pay the tariff on that now. At one time, anything under $800, you didn't have to pay a tariff. But now everything under $800, you have to pay a tariff on. So a lot of things were being held at the UPS stores and filling up UPS stores because people are like, "Hey, I'm not paying an extra $100 for my product." But I appreciate that. But I'm trying to leave this open for non-Trump. But you call me tomorrow.
I know. I just wanted to say that real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. So that was due to the Damaris. I can't remember the name. But Damascus. Yeah, that rule that basically said that anything under $800 you didn't have to pay a tariff. Well, Trump got rid of that, and I talked about that before. That a lot of the stuff is now sitting at ports. A lot of that's air freight and some small freight, but that's a whole nother story. We're going to try to stick this one. Okay, back to the tariff thing. Sidetrack, Sally. Now so they can get this, you have to pay $200,000. Okay, so your answer to that would be, well, that's good because now you're gonna manufacture this in the United States. So my first question is, who is going to manufacture this in the United States? Because I'm not manufacturing this. I'm selling this because it was my idea. So now how do I find all of the companies? Like, where's the assembly company in the United States that's going to put this together for me? Because that's what China has. China has that supply chain of a assembly company. Just a company specifically designed to put shit together. And that's why we assemble the iPhone. The iPhone is made in America, but assembled in China. Because they have businesses to assemble shit. We don't. Okay. So now what do I have to do? So now I've got to find four companies in the United States. What? So now, think about this for a second. If I'm a manufacturing company, I'm just not going to, for me to make controllers, I have to have the two other companies work with me, right? Because I might be able to make the buttons for this, But if there's no circuit board companies and there's no casing companies, that don't do me shit, does it? Nope. So now I have to wait for manufacturing to be built. Okay. Where is my... So now I need an assembly company to be built in the United States to assemble what? Well, we don't know yet. Why not? Because we don't have the circuit board company yet, and we don't have the button company yet, and we don't have the case manufacturer yet. So which one starts first, the chicken or the egg? Because there's no need for me to build a circuit board manufacturing for controllers if I don't have, in the United States, I don't have the other one. Well, maybe we can just offset the price. But when it comes from China, their supply chain is so good, it comes assembled. So even if we opened up a circuit board manufacturer here in the United States, how are they going to put it together? Like, well, what if I just have the circuit boards? Well, maybe I go direct and I just get the casing from China and the buttons from China, but I don't buy the circuit board from China. Well, how do I track that company down? And that company, most of the time, will be like, yeah, we're not interested in selling them directly to you because we're already busy selling it to the assembly company. Is anybody following right now from Team MAGA that is now can answer any of my questions? So one of the questions I'm going to ask you is, how does this bring manufacturing back? Because remember, I don't want to make these. I just want to brand them and sell them. I don't want to put these together, these controllers. I want to brand, and now I have an American small business selling these because it was my idea. It was my intellectual property. I worked smarter, not harder, as a small business company in America. But just because I thought of the idea, now I got to track down a circuit board company. I have to track down a supply chain. Remember we talked about the supply chain? This is the supply chain companies right here. Sage Outcast, Tariffs 101, how may I direct your call?
Yeah, I got a question, right?
Sure.
So what China's basically doing is flooding the market with cheap stuff.
What cheap stuff?
Everything is cheap over there.
Okay.
They flood it over here so people could buy it because it's cheaper.
Okay.
So they're going to flood the market.
So how do you flood the market? Wait. So they're forcing it on us, or we're flooding our own market by buying it?
It's kind of a both.
Okay.
Because as consumers, we're going to look for the best thing and the cheapest thing because we like to save money.
Sure.
You like to save money too, right?
Yes, I do. Yes.
And then that's how they get you. So you buy the product, and plus you got the fentanyl, that the chemicals that they making over in China. They shipping it in those little tiny pots, those little things, but in a big plane.
Let me ask a quick question.
And bring it to America.
So we have law enforcement for that, right? And we have a whole bunch of law enforcement for that. How is charging me, the American people, a tax going to punish China from shipping fentanyl?
They did punish China. You know, his factories shut down in China a lot when Trump put the 100% tariffs on them.
Well, if they shut down in China, why do we still have fentanyl?
Because China is our adversary.
Okay, but you just told me that. Do you know how many factories shut down in China because of the tariff?
Yeah.
Well, then why do we still have so much fentanyl here?
Because they make money off of fentanyl.
Okay, I understand. You know what? We're going to ask you the question. Hey, are you new to the show?
Yes.
Okay. My wife wants to ask you a quick question. Hang on a second. You ready? Go ahead and ask him.
Imagine you didn't have breakfast this morning. How would that make you feel?
I don't eat breakfast.
Exactly. Okay. Case dismissed. Case dismissed. Oh. Trump stopped the fentanyl by putting it on tariffs. Then why do we still have fentanyl? Because they make money off of it. I know they make money off of it. That's why they did it in the first place. But if you're telling me that Trump stopped the fentanyl, why do we still have fentanyl when we have tariffs? You see the circle? You see the circle? You see the circle? Listen, Oh, he's going to call back? Oh, you failed the breakfast question. I can't believe I have to explain this. You know what? Do you know another reason I asked the breakfast question? Because they always call back after they fail. Hey, you failed the breakfast question.
The other thing is China threatened every single country.
How?
It happened 2 days ago.
Yeah, how did they do that?
That's the reason they sent every country a note.
How did they do that?
If you say you don't buy for China,
No, they
we're gonna
didn't.
shut these factories down. We're going to hurt your country. Because most of these countries do not got factories.
No, they
And
didn't.
that's going to hurt their economy.
That's
Yes,
not.
they did.
That's not how. How?
That's the reason why.
Listen to me.
Put 100% tariffs on China.
You failed
And I
the
got
breakfast question, so I already know that you. Okay, he hung up this time. Okay, we're gonna try this one. Try this one. Then I gotta go back to my tariff story. Sage Tariff 101. How may I help you? Okay, there's a delay, so if you're waiting for you to hear me answer something, say something, there's like a 15-second delay. So if you're gonna shout something and you're like, oh, I gotta wait until I can hear me say something, that way I know I can get it out, and he didn't hang up on me. There's a delay. Okay, let's move back on. Perfect. So far we've had a breakfast question failure, because you ask him a question. This is the problem. When I ask him the question, he goes into. I'll get it. Sage Outcast Tariff 101. How may I direct your call?
Bro.
Yes. You there?
Yeah, bro.
Okay. What can I help you with?
That's all I wanted to say, bro. Just get him breakfast.
I get him breakfast. Buy the guy breakfast. If you guys would donate to the channel, I would buy the last caller breakfast. Thank you for calling in. Buying breakfast. All right. Now we are, I will basically, unknown callers, don't take them. Move on. Okay. Sorry, we don't do unknown callers. So if you don't show up with a number, we don't talk to you. Bye. Okay. I answered it just long enough to tell him that. Sorry. Bye. Okay. Let's go back to the story. All right. So right now, this company here that wants to make these controllers does not have a supply chain. Because one manufacturing plant isn't building these controllers here in the United States. We need various manufacturing plants. And even if the United States made an assembly facility to assemble these, they would have to get the components from China, still paying the tariffs. Does that make sense? Now remember, we have stages of tariff denial, and I'm trying to cover tariff denial stage 1, which is bringing jobs back to the United States. We have 2, which is basically drugs. We have 3, which is basically slave labor, and we have 4, which is I don't even remember what 4 is. It'll come back to me in a minute. Okay, so now if for manufacturing to happen here, all of the supply chain has to be built in the United States. That means all of the manufacturers all have to do what? Have to decide that, okay, we're going to go ahead and build a supply chain to make these controllers. Now, the other problem is China has 1.4 billion people. We have approximately 340 million people. So the amount of workers over there is by far greater than over here. Okay, so building supply chains for various things and manufacturing for various things make life better over in China because it brings them jobs. So some of the reasons that people are like, why is it so expensive for me to make this here? Because I might assemble this here, but I still have to get my components from overseas because we don't have the supply chains here to make this. Does that make sense? Did I use the drawing on the screen to basically understand that this supply chain here doesn't exist? Because we don't need this supply chain. Now, we might have, what do we have here? We have a lot of assembly facilities, like for cars. We put the cars together over here. Sage Outcast Tariff 101, how may I direct your call?
Hey man, I'd like to debate you on the tariffs or whatever you want.
Sure. Are you pro-tariff?
I'm pro-Trump all the way.
Perfect. What you got? You are pro-tariff, so you like the tariffs.
Well, what do you got? What's wrong with them? Let me hear.
What is the purpose of the tariff?
All right, so listen to this. If you tariff these businesses that outsource their manufacturing overseas, what it does is it makes it more expensive to build that in a different country than in the United States. So then they're forced to bring that manufacturing here.
So let me ask a quick question. If tariffs bring back manufacturing, why would I spend billions of dollars investing in the United States on one portion of the supply chain for a tariff that can be turned on and turned off again at will?
What do you mean? Who's spending billions of dollars?
You said, well, if you're going to bring back manufacturing, somebody has to build the manufacturing plants, right?
Sure.
Okay, so answer my question.
Why would you build the manufacturing plants for
No.
billions of dollars?
No.
So then you can generate trillions of dollars for the United States.
Why, if the only reason the tariffs are coming to, if the only reason the manufacturing is coming back to the United States is because it becomes too costly for me to manufacture in, let's say, China or India, why would I invest trillions of dollars and about 5, 6, 7, 8 years to wait for manufacturing and a return on my investment for a tariff that can be turned on and turned off again?
Well, first of all, why would you need to wait 5, 6, 7 years?
How long do you think it takes to build a manufacturing facility and get a return on your investment?
Well, if you got your shit together, you could probably build that within a year.
Not even close. Not even close. Not even close.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Why do you think? You think that people build shit in a year? Have you ever been a part of?
I think that in 1930s they built the Empire State Building in 13 months. And why can't we do something like that today?
Why do you think?
I think because there's too much regulation from the Democrats and too much stopping people from doing it instead of just letting people be free.
So first of all, do you know you have no idea what I do for a living, obviously, because you're new to the show. So manufacturing, I own my own logistics company for 25 years.
You know what I do?
What do you do?
I talk to business owners every day, and I sell them money, so I know exactly. You
sell them money? So then why wouldn't you know that manufacturing takes longer than a year? Just to negotiate contracts with city, county, municipalities, just to negotiate those, just to pick a spot that you want to build.
They've been shut down. We have to do some maintenance on them and reopen them.
What would you? Okay, so again, why would I invest any of that money for a tariff that could be turned on and turned off again? Why would I invest any of my money?
Why? Because business owners most of the time look in long term, and they'll see that over time it'll save them money.
No, but it wouldn't. In long term, the tariff would go away.
Why?
Because he's already lowered the tariff. I'm not.
He's about to put 100% more on China right now.
Again, why would I build or invest money in the United States for a tariff?
Also there for other reasons, not just business coming back. But
okay, so you've already moved past it. You've already moved past stage 1 of tariff denial. Got it. So answer my question first.
No, I'm not. I agree that the businesses will do better, and there's also other.
But why would they?
You were debating on why the tariffs are good. So there's multiple reasons.
No, I don't like tariffs.
One reason.
I don't like tariffs.
I can give you other reasons to why.
So no, hang on. I know, because that's the 5 stages of tariff denial. You move on to other reasons because you can't answer this question. But answer my question. I don't have to
move on to what's the question?
My question is if I was a business and I was going to invest billions of dollars because of tariffs, because you have a tariff that's on right now, and there's no. Right now, there was no tariff. I'm slowing down.
The big companies already invested billions of dollars into the United States and bringing back their manufacturing.
Nope. Again, not true. We started the show and I proved that I debunked that. So let's start over again.
How did you debunk it? Debunk it.
I can show you the same thing I showed everybody else, but I want you to answer my question first, and I'm going to keep asking this question until you answer it. Why?
I already answered it.
If the tariffs are off. And my supply chain is in China. Do you know what a supply chain is?
Yeah.
What's a supply chain?
That's where you manufacture your goods.
No. Keep going. It's more than just a manufacturing. Keep going.
The supply chain?
Yes.
To supply the resources you need and all that stuff.
Right. So multiple manufacturing happen just to make like this controller. This controller needs multiple manufacturing elements that creates the supply chain and then assembled. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So this has 3 parts. This has a case, buttons, and the internals, circuit boards.
Sure.
Right? Okay. So right now, China has a supply chain for all three of those plus assembly.
Sure.
Okay. Now, perfect. So why would I move my supply chain from China to the United States for a tariff that can be turned on today and turned off tomorrow?
Because it's turned on right now.
And no, it was actually turned off. It was turned on yesterday and turned off today. So why would I do that? Donald Trump turned tariffs on, threatened tariffs, just to unthreaten tariffs within the same weekend. Why would I spend billions of dollars to do that? I'm going to keep asking this question until you answer it.
For one thing, he's doing. This is where I wanted to get to my other point because
No
pivoting, no pivoting. Answer my question. No pivoting to your other points. I want to ask you.
No.
Why are you so focused on only one portion of the tariff? Why won't you talk about any other portions of the tariff?
I just taught a whole lesson. You just got to the show, bro.
Not the other things.
You just got to the show, bro. You just got to the show. You just got to the show. I just covered all this.
Why can't we talk about other parts of the tariff?
Okay. Why can't we talk about other parts of the tariff? Do you see the the 4 stages of tariff denial? The minute they can't answer the first one, they move on to other points. Listen, 1 point at a time I'm doing today. I'm not talking. You want me to do a show tomorrow? I'll do a show tomorrow. And I will talk the second point of the tariff denial. But I'm talking the first one today.
Companies have already brought back the manufacturing and invested nearly over.
Off he goes because he wants to pivot. We're talking today because I have learned now from yesterday's show or Friday's show when Man of Tomorrow called in that I'm the dum-dum that allows them to go on to other points. And then they throw so much stupid shit at me that I can't even go back and fix all the stupid shit they're saying. So 1 point at a time. That's all we're doing today. That's all we're talking today. That's the only thing we're doing today. So if you want to call in and you want to debate it, the only point that you're allowed to do today is bring back manufacturing. If you move on to any other point, I'm hanging up on you. Sajak Outcast, how may I direct your untariffy questions?
Yeah, hi. I wanted to talk to you about the tariffs.
Sure.
I mean, the last guy, he doesn't understand tariffs. I mean, if the tariffs are horrible for the manufacturing for the aerospace. I work in aerospace. Everything has almost doubled in price.
Yes.
And those tariffs, they might go away, but the prices are not going to come down after this. That's how I feel.
So, and you're still continue to buy the parts that you need in aerospace, right? From the countries you need. You haven't stopped buying them because manufacturing is also automatically back, right?
Oh no, you have to purchase them no matter what, or you can't function as a company.
Perfect. Perfect. I appreciate you calling in, but I'm trying to find some crazies that disagree with me for today because I'm trying to teach this lesson. But thank you so much. Hope you subscribe to the channel. Yes, I know this is a very special show that I'm doing. Okay, now here we've reached the manufacturing portion again. How long does it take to build all of this supply chain? Now he's like, oh, you can do it in a year. Okay, well, what if I build the circuit boards? What if my manufacturing builds the circuit boards? How do I know if and when the manufacturer in the United States is going to be built to make the case? So what we do here in the United States is we assemble so we can sell the final product. Hang on. Sage Outcast, taking tariffs to a whole new level. How may I direct your call?
Hey, man.
Yes.
I talked to you, I think, last week about, it kind of went south quick because I failed your breakfast
question. Yeah.
But then I looked that up. You know where that comes from?
Yes.
It comes from Reddit and 4chan.
Yeah, but
that's not like a real thing.
But why did you fail
and then
it then?
Originally, it's supposed to be about IQ or whatever, so you kind of just twist it around to be something else.
Why did you fail it then?
You can't fail something that's just made up. You just made up, then you're acting like you can
Listen, let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a question. If I tell you to imagine you did not have breakfast, imagine you didn't have breakfast, and then how would that make you feel? If your response is, I didn't have breakfast, I never asked you if you had breakfast. I told you already to imagine you didn't.
If you listen.
Okay, move on. I'm not doing the breakfast question. Imagine you did not have breakfast. I've already told you to pretend you didn't. Pretend you didn't. How would that make you feel? If your answer is, I didn't have breakfast this morning, you failed my question. And if I made that question up, which I know I didn't, it works every time. It works every single time, to the point it is so consistent that I know when you're going to fail it if you haven't watched the show. I know you are going to fail that. It is so consistent that we now have scientific evidence on specific people that will fail this test. That's how bad that is. You can't fail something just made up. Yes, you can. Okay, hopefully it's not a breakfast question. Sage Outcast taking tariffs to a whole nother level. We're not answering the breakfast question. How may I direct your call?
All right. So another thing.
Yeah.
If the U.S. goes to war with China and we don't got no factories, how are we going to win the war?
I'm not answering any of these questions. You have to answer my question. This is a one. Hang on. I'm going to give you another chance. The only thing people can't hear you right now. You're muted. You're muted.
How are we supposed
the people,
to go to war
listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Can you answer that question, though?
I'm going through one. Listen, these are all stages of tariff. These are all stages of tariff. Do you see how dumb they are? We are dealing with all. I will answer all of your points, but we're going to do it one at a time. One at a time. We're not going to pivot. You have to do this one at a time. Sage Outcast talking tariffs, but you can't pivot. How may I direct your call?
Are you afraid to talk to me, man? Why do you keep hanging up on me?
I don't know. Which one are you?
I wasn't rude.
Which one are you? Rude. Which one are you? I don't even know who you are.
I was the breakfast guy.
Because you failed the breakfast question. So we're here to talk tariffs.
Okay, well I can talk tariffs.
Okay, perfect. So can you answer my question in regards to tariffs?
Sure.
Okay, only thing we're going to talk is bringing back manufacturing, because I have to do this show one at a time. I'm going to have various shows on this, but today's show, the only point we're talking is, do you believe manufacturing is going to come back if we raise tariffs?
No.
Okay. Next. There's no need for you to be on the show then. There's no need for you. You've already got phase one and you've already learned that. So I don't need to debate you about tariffs. The problem is I literally said that before you called in, and you still called in. That's why you failed the breakfast question. If I had your picture, I would make t-shirts and sell it saying, imagine you didn't have breakfast this morning. How would that make you feel? And on your picture on the back, it would say, I didn't have breakfast this morning. I literally would make the t-shirt. I'd be rich and I'd manufacture it in China. But I would manufacture your picture here in the United States. So you are U.S., made in the USA. But the shirt that you are stamped on is made in China. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the supply chain in the United States. I have to have 4 pieces of the supply chain. I have to have the case, the buttons, and the internals manufactured in the United States. And then I have to have a company to put it all together. Because companies like Bullfrog hot tubs, there's a story back during COVID that explained that Bullfrog hot tubs out of Colorado, maybe? I don't know, that area. They had I don't even know how many miles. Everything came from everywhere, and stuff came in and out. The connections, the pipes, the plastic. Then they'd have to ship out the tubs to be colored. All kinds of stuff. That's how things are actually made. One place in America doesn't make everything. It doesn't make everything. We bring in components. We bring in raw materials. We bring in stuff like that. So now, for me to have this here's my next question for you guys. Here's my next question for you. Again. Bringing back manufacturing is the only point. phone lines are open.
His number, 856-600-4654.
I drew the
Sage
pictures.
Outcast.
China?
I have questions.
Jesus Christ. Do you mind? Okay. China has a supply chain. Sage Outcast, you know you're backstage on my Discord, right?
Yeah, I need to pause this Discord.
Yes. You don't disagree with my tariff question, though. Are you done?
Well, I feel like we're not addressing one of the topics.
Does it have anything to do with bringing back manufacturing to the United States?
Yes, that's actually the central point of it.
No. Why businesses? Okay, so go ahead. What's your point then?
All right. There. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm following with you on everything you're saying. I agree with most of it. Yes, I don't know if I'd say mega. The question I have is, why would Trump bring in all these tariffs then? If he's trying to spur on and create growth, if the whole point is to bring more businesses back to America, then, and answering your question, right, in 5, 6, 7 years, if we're being tariffed, why would a company build in the United States if they know that it could be taken away just at a drop of a hat?
Because Trump is an idiot. And I'm not going to say, Trump doesn't, listen, Trump is a real estate person. In real estate, you can go in at strong-arming people. Logistics isn't that way. Like, Trump has gone in and strong-armed people his entire life. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, but hang on one second. Hold that thought. Let me read this real quick. Trump proves people wrong over and over again, and you're not the first. You won't be the last. Everybody thinks that they have a point. Then he wins. Repeat. But he didn't win. I can prove he didn't win. I can prove in 2018 he did not win. See, this is the problem real quick. I literally can prove he did not win in 2018 when he brought tariffs on. I can show you there was a freight recession. I can show you he had to bail out the farmers. I can show you this. We have historical data. When it comes to tariffs, he did not win. Like, historic data, we can show he did not. I just read to you that the companies lied. Companies said, yeah, we'll build in the United States, but John Deere moved, Carrier moved, Foxconn moved. They just lied to him. Like, I can show you this factually with real data and real things. I can show you the dip in manufacturing right here. This is 2018. Total manufacturing jobs dipped. And of course, COVID crashed. But they dipped right here. They dipped twice. Once in 2018 with tariffs and once with the oil crash. It dipped.
Okay, well,
yes.
Why is Trump not bringing in and stimulating small businesses? Why is he trying to bring the money in from doing tariffs? And the only thing that makes sense to me at this point is that he is looking for what do you call it? The bottom line, to me it looks like he's trying to take some of that money.
Yes.
That's in between.
Yes.
As the prices increase, he's like, you know what? Let me take that extra $10 and put it in my pocketbook and not the small businesses.
Because he's 80 years old and he thinks he's stubborn. He thinks he knows everything. And people, now let's think about who is supporting him now. Let's talk about all of the leg humpers that support him. All of the leg humpers that were at his inauguration were who? IT big business people, Amazon, and all these other. Do you think Amazon wants competition? Because this tariffs destroy small competition first. Yes. Donald Trump is an idiot. He's stubborn and he's 80 years old, and he thinks he understands it, but he's finding out he doesn't. And that's why, matter of fact, he turns tariffs on, sees what it does, and then turns tariffs off. Like, he's realizing this. He's gone
so
to.
If I was a business, I wouldn't build. I would wait.
Yes.
And say, okay, as we watch Trump fail, they're thinking, as a business owner, a major corporate business owner, if we can get Trump to fall on his face, we'll get a different leader in, and maybe they will change the tariffs so that we don't have them anymore.
Because
as an argument walking into the election, I could see that being the argument that people will make.
Who doesn't want the tariffs? Who doesn't want the tariffs? Elon Musk. Who would Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and all these people support more? J.D. Vance. So if they can just wait Trump out,
no tariffs.
If they can just wait Trump out, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, the other guy, Colin, or I can't remember. I need to learn names. All these people will bring in the technocrats and the technocrat program that they want. Hang on, another
so what happens if we don't bring, how do we bring small businesses back? Because that's going to long term.
I know you're pivoting. You're pivoting right now. I'm just talking tariffs. I'm just talking tariffs right now. Let me jump off. I'm gonna jump off. Hang on. Okay, where's the tariff? Trump is using the tariffs to manipulate the stock market. Okay, Trump is using the tariffs to manipulate the stock market and using insider trading to profit for money making. Yes, that is what. Now, do I think that that's the purpose of it? No. I think he is very stubborn, but I think they realized that, and he's like, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to keep this going. So I don't think it was the original, because Trump has talked tariffs for a long time, not understanding tariffs. Trump literally believes that other countries pay the tariff. He literally convinced, not all of you, but a lot of the right, that other countries pay the tariffs. Trump said that we're going to get rid of our income tax, and we're going to have other countries pay our income tax by paying tariffs, right? So, where's my mouse? There it is. Oh, what's going on there? Oh, no. Close that. Okay, fixed. All right. Where's my drawing? Okay, now, again, we're going to recap. Recap speed version for the people that just joined us. Thank you so much. If you would do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe to the channel. I have this deja vu feeling. Sage Outcast, you can't get a point. How may I direct your call?
I'm just letting you know I'm an independent. And how about the factories that make medicines?
How about the factories
they charge us the most, and they charge us the most in any other country.
Okay, so
other countries charge less.
What countries?
They can charge every country except the U.S.
No, every country does not make.
We pay the most. Yes, other people. If you go to other countries, you have to see.
So do you see every country? So do you think Ethiopia is making medicines?
Ethiopia. Did you see Ethiopia? It's beautiful over there.
That's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you. What country makes the medicines?
It's a whole bunch of countries.
Okay, tell me one.
It's China.
China doesn't make the medicines.
China does make medicine.
No, they offer the raw material for the medicines.
The FTC is in China.
Okay, so let me ask you a quick question. I'm going to ask you a quick question.
If the FTC is in China, look it up. I want you to look it up on your screen.
He won't answer a question. We're going to move on. Sage Outcast, Terror 401, how may I direct your call?
Hey, I just got a question. So why do they care about bringing companies back when he's making everything else expensive?
Why does who care? Why do they? You said they, so who's they?
Why does Trump care about him bringing the companies back when he's making everything else expensive with the tariffs that he's implying on the people as a consumer?
Because he believes that that companies will come back when you beat them with a stick. He believes that companies will come back and go give Americans jobs back, but the problem is that's not the jobs Americans want, that's not the jobs Americans will fill.
But by the same thing that why does he care about all that when he got like farmers, all these illegal aliens that he calls, right? That he says they're bad for the country or whatever.
Oh, I don't think he does care.
Working for a minimum wage, so why does he want to bring companies when he already got the people and he could invest all that money that he sent in towards Argentina? He could invest it in his own state.
Oh, because I don't think he does care.
He doesn't, right?
Correct. And he even said, remember, he has companies that somebody asked him, and I'm going to find that clip and probably play it tomorrow. Somebody asked him for the stuff that he makes, the Trump hats, the Trump Bibles, the Trump all this stuff, will you start manufacturing that in the United States? And he said no.
Yeah, because it's not profitable.
Correct. So I don't think he does care.
Because they used to have some chips manufacturers right here in the United States, and they send them towards Taiwan, right? Because it was cheaper. I guess.
True. But I'm gonna, not that I want to kick you off. I appreciate you calling in, brother. I'm trying to find the people that want to, the MAGA people.
Okay. All
right. But thank you, brother. Thank you for calling. Okay. Let me do this. Oh, also, I turned the tariffs on the chat, so it's for you to be able to chat. You just have to subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. It helps grow the channel. Helps grow the. It helps destroy. MAGA people flip out because they keep calling in. So the problem I'm trying to get over, and even though the person that keeps calling in, I'm going to keep asking the same question over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because we're dealing with phase one of Trump denial. I'm sorry, tariff denial about Trump's tariffs. Okay, just one. So we're not talking about anything else. We're talking about, does tariffs bring back manufacturing and will... Now, my other point that I wanted to get to, and I got so many I got sidetracked, was this, okay? Now that... Thank you for the description. Now, my next question is this. So now let's say, right now, I'm getting these manufactured in China. The price has now gone up 100%. I obviously can't sell it for $100 because I'm losing money. Now, I'm not losing... Remember, instead of this costing me $13, now it costs me $16 or $26, right? Because I did 13. I did do 13. Now it costs me $26. Now I can eat some of that money. Either way, I'm not bringing back manufacturing. If I eat the money, manufacturing's not coming back. Okay? It's not coming back if my business eats the money. If I'm capable of eating that money, why would manufacturing jump on that? Well, they wouldn't, because there's no need. There's no need to bring the manufacturing back. What if I just pass the cost on to the American people? So instead of selling this for $100, I sell it for... Okay, we'll get that later. I sell this for... Because remember, I'm not paying it on the $100, so I don't need to double the cost of this. I just need to raise it, remember, $13, because it doubled, right? So right now, it was $13. If I pass the total cost on for the tariff, now I sell this for $113. If you want my controller, and I was selling it for $100, again, that doesn't bring back manufacturing. All right? Hear me out. Sage Outcast, Tariff Training, 1017.14. How may I direct your call?
Good morning, Sage. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Good to hear. I would say, I agree with some of the tariffs and don't agree with a lot of the tariffs, but to your point with the manufacturing, I think it brings back, to answer the question, it brings back certain industries. It doesn't bring back every industry, like steel, steel, aluminum, certain EV batteries, things like that have soared since Trump's tariffs, but really overall it's affecting more businesses than it's doing good. So I guess that would be the best way to answer your question in how I see it.
So steel is one that's an individual one. Steel is very hard to do because popping up steel manufacturing isn't just as easy as you think. Like a lot of towns don't want that in their town, so you got to find a place that's open to it, that the people aren't going to vote it out. So it takes a lot of negotiation. So that takes a lot of time to do. Plus, you have to go through safety type stuff and contractors and things like that because it's dangerous work. Plus,
I can see that.
Yeah, in the 1980s, it used to take 10 man hours to make a ton of steel, 1 ton of steel. Now it takes about 1 man hour to make 1 ton of steel. So you're not really bringing back massive amounts of jobs compared to a massive amount of automation, even in the steel industry, right? Plus, it's safer. Okay, so that steel is as an aspect of that because. Now, again, American steel is still used in different contracts. There are contracts that only American steel manufacturers can actually bid on the contract because they're not allowed to use Chinese steel. They're just not allowed to use it. Of course. Right? That's just some contracts that can be controlled through contract negotiation or through stipulations in regards to that compared to others.
course. No, I hear you. And I just figured that would be the best way to answer that question for anybody that hasn't answered
But how
it.
does, which
because
nobody
again, it
has.
doesn't bring back every job, and I think it does more harm than good on obviously small businesses. A lot of small businesses are paying the price for it, but it's going to be a lot of the larger corporate companies that can, yes, absorb the costs and invest in America.
So then what now the question is, here's the question though. If the company is brought back because of tariffs, what happens when the tariffs go away? Because remember, Trump turns them on, turns them off, turns them on, turns them off, turns them on, turns them off. Why would that steel company say, yes, I'll invest?
They might just go back.
They just go back. They'd shut it down, right? Because there would be, or they'll just wait it out. Because Trump's only good for 4 years. 3 now.
Yeah.
So I'd rather wait 3 years than invest. I don't even know how much a steel manufacturer
A lot of them are actually waiting it out. Yeah, for sure. To your point, yeah, they are waiting out orders and things like that, or turning shipments away. So I mean, it is a thing. But yeah, I just wanted to make clear that some, and maybe not the most important things. So like, yeah, it does bring back certain manufacturing, but
what
manufacturing is it really bringing back? It's not really, to your point.
What keeps it here is the question. Not if he'll bring it back. Why would I invest in something that basically is turned on? I wouldn't. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Because it takes by the time you turn it off again, now I'm screwed in money. I've started manufacturing. I'm a quarter of the way done, and now the tariffs are off, and now it's cheaper for me to go back to China, India, Vietnam, wherever.
Yeah. Yeah. So like some have already brought manufacturing back in some sectors, but then exactly to your point.
What was the reason those came back?
They're just going to go right back.
What was the reason those came back?
I'm not 100% sure, to be completely frank with you.
Passing of laws. Most of the sectors that we brought back are going to be EV, semiconductor, AI. Those type of manufacturing had come because of the passing of laws and incentivizing the business.
Specifically, just for my own knowledge.
A law is consistent. A law is consistent. A law doesn't change. You can't turn a law on and off again. You have to re-vote it out, or you have to re-change the law through a vote through Congress. So if a law is passed, I now have more incentive to come and build there, because you can't just turn that law off tomorrow. It's on, and I'm getting my money. Normally.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Makes sense, but...
All right. I'm sorry, but it's kind of got a fast-paced show I'm trying to do today, because, okay, let me go back to this. Let me think where I was mentally. So here. Okay. So we have to build the supply chain here. We can't just build one manufacturing plant to make this. Okay? We can't just build one. Now, here's the question I have. What do I do, me, who's selling this, what do I do while I'm waiting for the U.S. manufacturers to start building the supply chain here? What do I do? Do I stop selling these? Like, what can I possibly do to make sure, because it's going to take years, right? I got to wait for 3 facilities plus an assembly facility to be put together. So what do I do? Let me see. Talked about this before, but pictures work much better. So what do I do when that happens? Go ahead. What do you got, caller? What do I do?
Yeah, okay. I got this. Okay, if you're starting a small business, right?
Yeah.
Just like Foxconn did, they had to go into the laborers. The laborers want...
Whoa. Foxconn is not a small business. I don't know.
I know.
Okay. Go ahead then.
But they ran into the labor workers, and the labor workers wanted back then, $19, $20, $22 an hour to start at Amazon. That's the problem with these small business owners. Yeah. They think that they can get businesses going from 3 to 5 years with the ground up. That's brick, mortar, getting everything together. Then you run into are you going to deal with the unions? You're not going to deal with unions. Are you going to pay them $18, $19, $20 an hour? Because right now, minimum wage is at $16 an hour. In every single state.
You sound anti-tariff.
I'm sorry?
You sound anti-tariff.
Oh, yeah. I do not like tariffs whatsoever. No, because the small businesses are going worse and worse. Look at UPS. They're holding on to these packages because of fentanyl. They think it's in fentanyl. And what are people going to do for Christmas when they don't have their packages coming through UPS consumers in customs? Every single one of them is stopped.
Listen, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get anti-tariff people. I'm trying to get anti-tariff people. You're not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. All right. Appreciate that. Okay. I do appreciate it. I know you are a caller, and I do appreciate you being a subscriber and a caller, but I'm trying to explain this up. Okay. So, again, what do I do? What do I do? Because it's going to take, let's say, I'm going to give you 5 years. Nice round number. 5 years before I can get the supply chains built in America to make this controller. Okay? Is that fair? 5 years? Nice round number? All right. Here we go. So what do? Do I go out of business? Because what do I do? Here's the problem. I'm going to continue to buy these controllers. My option is I can eat the costs. Again, if I'm eating the costs, there's no need for other businesses to build in America because you're still buying these controllers. It doesn't matter if I might be doing it for a little less, but you're still buying these controllers, right? So there's no problem to solve. People are still buying them. I'm still making money. China's still getting their money. There's no problem with manufacturing the supply chain to build this. Next one. Thank you so much for the description. Next phase. Well, what if I just pass the cost on to the American people? Slowly, not all at once, but slowly. So next year, let's say next month I add a $5, and then the month after that I add another $5 and then I add another $3. So then the price of this goes up to $113 because I only have to add $13 to cover the tariffs because the tariffs are doubled and I'm paying $13 for this. So the new price for this product from China is $26. Let's just say that's how much it cost me. Or let's say it cost me $50 by the time I ship it by ocean. Whatever. I only get an increase to this product of $13. Okay? So what if I just pass the cost on to the American people for $13? And eventually you don't even notice it. Because, eventually my pizza went from $9 to $17 a pizza. And I still get pizza. So what happens? Okay? Well, if the American people are still buying it for $13 more, there's no problem. There's no need to solve a problem that doesn't exist. So manufacturing is not going to start doing billions of dollars for a problem that doesn't exist. There's no profit in it, right? So my question to you is, so what do I do for the 5 years it takes to build the American supply chain for this? I got to do something. Either I go out of business, or I shut down, or I eat the costs, or I pass the costs on. Because there's no need to build a supply chain for this controller if I go out of business. There's just no need. Let's find out. Sage Outcast, we talk supply chain like no one else does. How can I help you?
Morning, Sage.
Hey, how's it going?
I think the one thing that you're not taking into account here, whether you can get the manufacturing back or not, is the trust of the rest of the world. If we can just switch on a dime and go from Obama to Trump to Biden and then back to Trump, and some of them are good and some of them are bad, why should anybody trust us anymore, and why should anybody put their faith in us, whether there's tariffs or not?
Yes, which I appreciate the call in, but I'm trying to find the pro-tariff people. But I do appreciate the call. All right, not mean to hang up on people, but I understand. I got all the points out here. Okay, it doesn't, like I said, right now that's what he just said was turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off. If you can turn it on, turn it off, why would I invest billions of dollars to build a U.S. supply chain to manufacture these goods, this controller right here? Why would I do it? Because I can't just do it alone. I might make the assembly plant. Somebody else has to make the case plant. Somebody else has to make the button plant, and somebody else has to make the internal plant. Because I'm not going to invest for everything. There's just not enough profit for me to invest in every aspect of it. That's why we have supply chains. And that's why supply chains, although very boring to most of you, this is what I do. And that boring part it's boring to me too sometimes. Trust me. It's boring to half the people that in my Discord. Actually, it's probably boring to all the people in my Discord. Anyways. So why would I do it? I just showed you that. Here's the supply chain on the screen here, where the C does, China manufacturing, China supply chain, China, I don't know, assembly, right? And then they make it, and then they ship it overseas, and then the port gets it, and then they ship it by truck or they ship it by rail, and over here I sell it for $100. Now, by the time I get it from China to here, might be $50, and I'm selling it for $100. Right? That's all added into the aspect of things. This is all added into the aspect of things. Okay? So my question to you is, if tariffs work, why would any business, after knowing all this, after having to why would any business build a supply chain for something that can be turned off and turned on and turned off and turned on, or turned on and turned off, or whichever way you want to go? Why would they do that? Because we have just seen Trump turns the tariffs on, turns the tariffs off, turns the tariffs on, turns the tariffs on. Where is the consistency that I would invest? And even if it was, what do I do? And like I said, if people are still buying it, if I can mark this up $13 and people still buy the controller, who cares? Who gives a shit? If I can eat the costs and still be profitable and people are still buying it, who cares? No one's going to build manufacturing in the United States for a problem that doesn't exist. I am not investing into the United States for a problem that does not exist. I'll invest in a problem. So when it comes to AI, I'll invest in that because we got a problem. Sage Outcast, how we talk tariffs.
How's it going, man?
How you doing? Good.
I'm pro-tariff.
Okay.
And it's not for any other reason than, that's what the Republican Party is aligned with.
What? What was that last part?
That might be... What'd you say?
What are the tariffs for?
I said the only reason I'm aligned with it is because that's what our side is aligned with. Because the choices we had this election was Trump or, putting trannies in schools.
We're not putting trannies in schools.
That's kind of what the Democrats.
That's not what the Democrats. You understand that school? That's a state. That is a state issue, not a federal issue. Schools curriculum is handled by states. It's a state level, not a federal level.
Yeah, that's why we got to keep all the Democrats out of.
So you voted for Trump. You voted for Trump for something that he has absolutely no control over because school curriculum is handled by state level, not federal level.
That's not the only reason.
Okay.
Y'all's whole party represented,
What does this have to do with tariffs? Why would you support tariffs?
Because that's what we had to choose from.
You had to choose from tariffs, so you're okay. So you're okay being lied to, and you're okay being told that tariffs is paid for by the manufacturer. I'm sorry, by the other country. And you're okay with paying higher prices for goods, and you're okay with paying taxes without representation in regards to tariffs. You're okay with all that.
The previous administration tried to lie to us.
I'm not talking about the previous administration. Answer my question. Answer my question.
What question?
Exactly. I probably could have asked him the breakfast question. Call back. I have another question. Call back. Actually, I'll call him back. Nah, it ain't worth it. Because I don't know where he was, because about 4 other people called when he was, and I don't know where he went. Either way, the question was, you are okay with paying more money for goods. You are paying, but when you literally being lied to, and paying more money for goods, you are okay with that. Perfect. Oh, it's a different caller, I think. Sage Outcast, supply chain, tariff training, put you to sleep in a matter of minutes. How can I help you?
How was your weekend?
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's Mark from Mexico. Hi, Mark.
What's going on, my brother?
What's
How
going
are
on?
you?
I'm doing good. Are you okay with tariffs?
I love tariffs. I can't get enough. Can we get some more?
Perfect.
So I'm looking at your diagram.
Yeah.
You know, up here. What a good stellar of art form right there. Can I see the diagram where we're making the product in Ohio? We're paying $27 an hour labor cost and shipping it on over to, say, Chicago. Can I see that? Where the money's staying in the community instead of relying on Chinese slavery.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Can I?
No.
Sure, go ahead.
Because this is a show. We're doing one point a show right now. So my only question I've been asking is, if I had billions of dollars, why would I invest in that business that you just talked about right there? If you were to I can answer that. If you were to turn tariffs on and off again every day, why would I do that? If you can turn tariffs on and off, why would I take my money and invest in the United States to do that?
Right. So here's the deal. Turning on and off ain't going to work. Let's leave them on. Let's put this back in. Let's put this into some legislation. Let's pass it so that way it stays on.
Okay, so let me ask a quick question. So
Sure.
You understand that all supply chains would have to be built. You know what a supply chain is, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So this controller right here needs 3 different manufacturing companies to build it, and then it needs to be assembled.
Okay.
Okay. China already has this supply chain to build this. They have
slave labor.
Hang on.
And slave labor.
It's not slave labor.
It's slave labor.
How is it slave labor?
Let's look at the Apple thing. Remember the Apple thing back in the day with Mitt Romney out there? They loved sleeping in those little houses and jumping.
Do you know what
out
year that
windows
was?
and killing themselves.
Do you know what year that was?
Slave labor.
Do you know what year that was?
Can I take a guess?
First of all, and it wasn't Apple. It wasn't Apple.
It wasn't Apple.
No.
What was it? Foxconn? What was it?
It was Foxconn, and it was 2010.
Yeah.
And do you know there have been improvements since then?
Well, yeah. How many people had to die?
All right, listen, we got to go, Mark. I'm not doing the slave labor today. We're not pivoting. I told you we weren't going to pivot. I'm only doing one. You guys do all the same thing. You all pivot to a different point. Every single time, you all pivot to a different point. So the only point I want you to focus on, is right now, he says pass laws and bring everything back. So if by the time, what do I do as a manufacturer of the person selling this, the retail, the person that thought this idea up, the person that created a better controller? I don't manufacture it. I just sell it. I brand it. I market it. And I sell it. What do I do while I'm waiting for the case manufacturer? This might be him again. No, it's not him. Somebody else. This is somebody else I hung up on. How can I help you?
Hey, I just called the caller before that one.
Yes. What can I help you?
So I'm wondering.
I have a question for you. Now I told you to call back in. My wife wanted to ask you a question. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Go ahead. Ask him. Go ahead.
Imagine you didn't have breakfast this morning.
I've seen your show a couple of times.
Oh, damn you. You would fail the breakfast question. Okay. So don't pivot. So why would I, as an investor, invest building manufacturing and building and even being a part of one part of the supply chain? Why would I invest that money for tariffs that could be turned off and turned on again?
Well, yes, it makes sense, but what I'm trying to get at, the reason why we support it is because those are the options.
Those weren't the options. Again, listen, that was not the option. Again, right now, do you support tariffs? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in a cult. You are a sheep in a cult. No. You basically you voted for someone and you will agree to every one of his points because you are in a cult. Like I can go against Harris's and Biden's, but you can't go against anything. Like I asked you, you voted for Trump because you didn't like the options you had. I asked you if you support tariffs, and you support tariffs on the sole fact that you are in a cult. You can't create an original idea or original thought process.
Side of the cult.
No, tell me why you support. Tell me why you support. Tell me why
you're using.
Tell me why you support tariffs.
I would ask you.
Tell me why you support tariffs.
Can you define what a woman is?
A woman, somebody with the female sex organs would be your definition of a woman, but that's not the definition of sex and gender. So there's sex and gender are two different things.
That's my definition. So what is yours?
So sex and gender.
You can't answer that question.
Yeah, I just did.
Same exact logic.
I just did. Did you not hear me?
You're in a cult.
No, I just did though. I just told you.
Okay.
You wait, bro. You just asked me. I just told you, and then you said that's exactly how you would define a woman, and then you told, and then what? Like, why do you support tariffs?
Just like
why do you support tariffs? Why do you support tariffs?
Chicks with dicks. Our side supports tariffs.
Why do you support tariffs?
There's no such thing as chicks with dicks.
Why do you can't cult? You're in a cult. You, my friend, are in a cult. Why do you support tariffs? Because why? Because my side support tariffs. The rest of my cult members support tariffs, and I have to go to the cult meeting on Sundays, and I don't want to be the only one outside of the cult, or I might not get my spaghetti and Kool-Aid. Okay. That being said, let us continue on. Kool-Aid all around. Everybody gets a glass of Kool-Aid. Oh, what time is it? 10:30. All right. I'm going to duck out of here. I've supported my Kool-Aid antics. I've supported my challenge. No one has come to the defense of basically explaining to me. People have said, well, yeah, you wouldn't. Why would you spend money and build manufacturing? I think I've taken the time to go over this. I've taken the time to explain what does this person that has this controller, what do they do? And I've explained that. I've gone over the fact that either they can raise the cost, eat the cost, or go out of business. Either way, they can't wait for manufacturing to be built in the United States. They can't wait. They can't wait. Sorry. They just can't wait. Because if they wait, they're going to go out of business. But it's going to take years to build those plants, to build the whole supply chain. I mean, one company isn't building all of these. I'll take one more call. One more quick call, see if you can answer. Sage Outcast, how can I help you on tariff question that you probably don't know the answer to?
Hi. I forgot to tell you this earlier, but before you dip out, I wanted to say maybe you should pick up a new career. You're a natural Picasso there, my friend.
Yeah, I am horrible at drawing. Like, blind people could have done this better.
I love it.
I literally closed my eyes and did it. How'd I do? No, but thank you very much. I drew this on napkins. Yeah. I drew it on a napkin when I first started. All right, that being said, I'm out. I'm out. I doodled on napkins in the bathroom. That being said, I'm out. See ya.